Okay, so this is gonna be really random because I feel like I'm talking to myself in my room, and if Kelly comes in, it's gonna be really weird. But anyway, so my first thing that I had to tell you was the camp that I applied for. So I applied for it, and like you knew that it was 10 weeks, and the only reason why I was going is because of my friend Kate, which I have a picture so you can put a face to my story. Well, that's Kate and me. Um, but anyway, like her and I were really close before Christmas break, and like the week before that, I actually stayed with her, and like we were talking, and like I opened up to her about stuff, and like we just hung out, and then like we went on Christmas break, and she texted me and like she asked me for advice over Christmas break about stuff that had happened like at school. And she was being like really nice, and then when Jordan and I started dating, she was like, "Oh, that's really cute," and she like texted me about it. And then she went to Mexico for a missions trip, and she got back and um, or she got back and I texted her, and I was like, "How was your trip?" She's like, "Good, it was really good." And then she said something about, okay, her college is the honors college for like the smart people, and they were having like nerd prom. So she asked me like what dresses I had, and I was like, we should just go together without a boy because she always had drama with boys and dances. She's like, "Yeah, sure. What kind of dresses do you have? I don't know if I'm gonna go yet, but let me know what dresses you have." So I sent her all the pictures of all my dresses. She picked out the one she liked. Then um, we got back to school like in January, and I texted her and I was like, "Hey, how was moving in?" Because she was moving into a new room with that girl that I used to have a crush on that I asked on a date or whatever. And she originally wanted me to help her move all her stuff in, but that didn't happen. So I texted her and was like, "How was moving in?" She didn't respond. Um, then she was on Facebook and she said had like a like my status for to be honest, so I liked it. She never wrote it to be honest. Then she was up in Facebook chat, so I messaged her and I was like, "Hey," never responded. So then um her friend Chris was in our room at this time while this was all happening, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with Kate now." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Did she respond to you?" And he's like, "Yeah, she just texted me now." So I texted her and I was like, "Hey, are you mad at me?" She was like, "No, why?" And I was like, "Well, you haven't been texting me back, and I messaged you on Facebook and everything." She was like, "Oh, I'm always logged into Facebook." But that like wasn't what I was talking about. Obviously, she was more than logged in. She was doing stuff on Facebook. And I was like, "Well, you texted Chris because he was right with me. Why couldn't you text me back?" She was like, "Oh, sorry, my friends wanted to hang out with him. I just texted him to see what he was doing. I've been really busy." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, just let me know whenever you want to hang out or whatever." And I brought the dresses and everything. And I haven't heard from her since. Well, the only time I heard from her was she texted me and she's like, "Hey, the guy from our camp is trying to contact you." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. He got a hold of me. He asked for an interview." I was like, "I don't know if I'm going to do it though. I'm not sure if I still want to work there." And she's like, "Oh, why? What's wrong with the camp?" I was like, "There's nothing wrong with the camp." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And that was all. Like, she didn't ask me why. And like, obviously a lot of the reason why was because like she's completely changed. She like doesn't even acknowledge me when I walk by her half the time. Like, she totally went to nerd prom wearing somebody else's dress, didn't invite me or tell me anything about it, hasn't seeked me out to hang out with me, and like this is why I don't make friends. Like, obviously you know that like every time either you or I try to make friends, it just either they just suck in the end, or they change, or they fuck me over somehow. So yeah, that was my dilemma, and like along with like not wanting to be gone for the whole summer from my family and not being able to go on family vacation, and now that I have Jordan and not being able to hang out with you, like I would only have a week break if I actually did it, and then I'd be gone, and then I'd have another week and school would start up again, so like literally I would never be home. So I don't know, that's the reason why. Like, obviously I really wanted to do it, but it didn't work out. So I will be home this summer, and my dad's trying to see if he can get me like an internship or like summer job at his work, or I'm applying to like Milton Hershey has like summer camps for kids and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll be around. So that is my first story of many to come.